this time we rest on you because He lives. Oh, because He lives, all fear is gone. Because I know. Descansamos em Ti, Deus.
With all I am, I long to see your beauty, and just one glance can change my whole perspective. I am ready to see you rightly, just as you are, just as you are, to see you in all your glory, just as you are. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, so beautiful. I stand in awe, completely captivated. Oh Jesus, you have my heart, nothing hidden and nothing wasted. I am ready, oh, to see you and see rightly, just as you are, just as you are, to see you in all your glory, just as you are. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, oh Jesus, so beautiful, you're beautiful, my Jesus, you're beautiful, I love you, you're beautiful, everything you are, so beautiful. Everything you are, so beautiful, so beautiful. Come and behold him, isn't he fascinating? Come and behold him, get lost in his majesty. Come and behold him, isn't he captivating? And we'll keep on singing for all of eternity. Oh, come and behold him, isn't have all of eternity to praise your name, to spend time with you. Oh, all of eternity covered in your mercy. All of eternity being in your light. All of eternity being loved by you. All of eternity, oh Jesus. All of eternity, oh come and behold. Isn't he fascinating? Come and behold him. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. So beautiful. You're beautiful. So beautiful. You're beautiful. So beautiful.
Beautiful God. So beautiful. I want to make a challenge, especially for the men's here. Don't be an observer. I want to invite you to sing. Let's do it together. I will sing with you. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's so beautiful. Come on, help me. Let's do it.
And it grew, and it multiplied a little bit, and there was a little patch of this plant. And I got to the point where I got tired of this plant, and I decided that I was going to pull it up one fall. So I pull up all of the plant, and I throw it into the ditch. The next year, the plant grew back, and then it grew in the ditch behind the house. I thought, oh, okay, well, this is not good. I'm going to have to do this again. I'm going to have to use a little bit more harsher methods. And at that time, we were doing some renovations around the house, so we had a little tractor come out, and they dug up, and they broke up all the roots. And all of a sudden, behind my house, there was this invasive plant, and it seemed to grow until I got gasoline and fire. I'm kidding. Just seeing if you're still awake. But it made me wonder for a moment that the compounding effect, the invasiveness of this plant, that why is not the entire globe filled up with this plant? I actually honestly asked that question. Because judging is in the same way. It's like it grows and grows, and it has a compounding effect. So what is the antidote to judging? The antidote to judging is right there. Jesus gives it. He says, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye when all the time there's a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. The antidote to judging is actually, it's pretty simple. It's an exchange. It's an exchange from, instead of using a window, that we use a mirror. That we start by, instead of looking out the window, we look into the mirror. And what does a mirror reveal? When we look into a mirror reveals the truth about us. When I look into the mirror, it reveals the truth about who I am. It shows gray hairs that were once light brown. I know, you don't believe me, right? It also shows where there is no hair, where there was hair. You don't believe me, I know, I get it. It reveals the truth. It shows the joy, it shows the sadness, it shows the tiredness, the pain. The one thing that the mirror shows is it shows the truth. As long as the mirror is not distorted or bent. And maybe we should add a little bit of a cultural aspect of this. That when we look in the mirror, we're not looking through a filter. And I'm concerned that as we become more and more familiar with filters and avatars, that it becomes harder and harder to make a present assessment of ourselves. We become increasingly distorted in the digital world, and how does that affect ourselves in the analog world? Even more so, we need to know the truth about ourselves. And maybe it's also could be noted that why is it so easy to find a fault in others and to be able to judge others? What is it about that situation that we can find? We deal with ourselves first. We remove the obstacle from our own eyes. And when we enter into the process of removing our own hindrances, we see the work that needs to be done in our hearts and in our lives. And as followers, this is what it means to be a follower, is that we're willing to do the work that needs to be done in our lives. We're willing to hold up the mirror. As we've gone through this series, we've talked about things like anger. We've talked about things like murder and divorce and adultery and all of these things. And we hold the mirror up and we go, God, take a deep look in and deal with me and bring about what you want to do. And it's one of the reasons why through this series we're taking a time for reflection. And so right now we're going to take a few minutes. We're going to do the Lectio Divina. It's an opportunity to pray and to reflect and allow the word to get into our heart and allow ourselves to take a look and go, God, what do you want us to see in ourselves? And so I've chosen for this portion, Psalm 139, verses 1 to 12, and as well verses 23 to 24. And as I read this through, maybe the way to look at this is, as we're holding up the mirror, this is a personal thing. It's not a judgmental thing. But maybe it's a time to just say, God, let me be seen and allow my life to be witnessed before you. As we go through this, just let us pray and say, God, let me be seen. So Psalm 139, verses 1 to 12. You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The light will shine like the day. The darkness is as light to you. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.
Are you a professional looking to immigrate legally to the...
As we read it again, maybe there's something you want to hold on to. Maybe there's a word or a phrase. Just allow yourself to be seen before God. Allow yourself to be present. Maybe there's something that God wants to begin to show you and reveal. You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. And allow the word to be sealed in around your heart. You need to be reminded of the promise of God's presence, that He's with you as you're being revealed and transparent before Him. But we just want to allow this moment to be between you and God. And as we read it through again, maybe just hold on to and maybe make a note of what you're sensing and feeling. You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The light will shine like the day. The darkness is as light to you. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. And maybe this has been a little bit different for you, to maybe hold up the mirror and allow ourselves to see the truth. Let's just take a moment and just let it sink in. Maybe there's something you want to let settle in your heart. When we hold up the mirror and we see the process in our own lives, and we sense that we've looked and we've gone through the process of beginning of taking away the plank from our eye, as Jesus puts it. It almost gets a little bit scary after that. The words of Jesus are difficult, because he says, only then can you help your brother or your sister. Then we have something to offer. And it's through the process that we have something to offer. Only after that do we have the opportunity to serve one another. Once we have faced the truth about ourselves, once we look at the truth of ourselves, we're able to help others. And it's not out of a sense of victory of, yay, I've overcome all of this and I'm better than you. But the process itself has a way of creating struggle in our own lives. And the struggle produces goodness in our lives, pearls. It produces goodness, beauty out of the pressure and the change and that which we've been given. What do we do when we face the truth? We have the opportunity then to live in community and begin to offer out what God has done in our hearts and our lives. It's why we do church as a community. And the truth about ourselves and what victory we attain becomes pearls to each other, and we can serve in such a way. Pearls so precious that we don't give them away so easily. You know, I've been on many airplanes. Heard many crying babies on airplanes. Even now, recently, when I was on an airplane, I was thinking to myself, Oh, the joy of having that struggle. As my kids are a little bit older and they have phones that they can just stare deeply into the screens. And it's easy out of my own struggle of 9 hours between Helsinki and Toronto, between Amsterdam and Calgary, between Vancouver and Frankfurt, and doing that a number of times. Out of that struggle, it's easy to show love and patience and kindness to other people that have walked in that. In fact, it's even gotten weird at times. One time I was on a flight by myself and there was a mother at the back holding her kid, and I said, "Hey, do you want me to help?" And then I was thinking, what are you doing? You're a man. You don't do that stuff. People don't get to see your heart. Don't be that guy. Just support quietly. But we have an opportunity. It's out of our own struggle that we get to give something to one another. And out of that pain, that we become in community. And then it's easier, much easier to listen to the words of Jesus. I don't want to judge, but because I'm looking at myself and I'm allowing God to work in his heart, through his heart and his life, through me. Let's close in prayer. I'll invite the worship team to come back up. Jesus, we just thank you for this opportunity that we can be together. And we thank you for the words that you have given us and the challenge of what it means to be a follower of you. So God, as we've looked at this, God, pray that we would continue to look to you, to reveal truth in our hearts and in our lives and in what you desire to do. In your name, amen.
sina valitsed siin paigas. Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Vaenlasel ei ole meelevalda, ükski relv ei saata võitu anda. Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Vaenlasel ei ole meelevalda, ükski relv ei saa tal võitu anda. Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Sulle kuulub meelevald taevastes ja taeva all. Sulle kuulub sinu kogudus. Sulle kuulub kiituslaul, iga põlv su annab au. Sulle kuulub minu ulistus. Oh, Jeesus, Jeesus, nimi üle iga nime, üle vaja iga nime. Jeesus, Jeesus, kiitus kõige kõrgemale, kuningate kuningale. Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Vaenlasel ei ole meelevalda, ükski relv ei saata võitu anda. Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Oh, Jeesus, sina valitsed siin paigas. Sulle kuulub meelevald taevastes ja taeva all. Sulle kuulub sinu kogudus. Sulle kuulub kiituslaul, iga põlv su annab au. Sulle kuulub minu unistus. Oh, Jeesus, Jeesus, nimi üle iga nime, üle vaja iga nime. Jeesus, Jeesus, kiitus kõige kõrgemale, kuningate kuningale. Oh, Jeesus, Jeesus, nimi üle iga nime, üle vaja iga nime. Jeesus, Jeesus, kiitus kõige kõrgemale, kuningate kuningale. Jesús, 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 nimi üle iga nime.
Can you maybe maybe join in doing some of the cool stuff. Like how can you be either people who are dancing here on the stage, or people who are serving you coffee, or the people who don't have to talk to anyone but look very cool all the time. Those are the tech people back there. That's the production team. So there's many options, and there's just, like Rodney said, it's all about community. And Rodney also mentioned that there was an award given, but I felt so honored that it was really a reflection of our community, and it was amazing. It was an honor for me, but it was really like I had so much joy yesterday just because of us being a community. So find out about all of those ways. There's also a prayer option there to send in your prayer requests. If you're at home, you find all of those options on our website to always send in prayer requests. There's never enough prayer. So this is not only for Sundays, this is for every single day. And our prayer team is praying for them every single week. And our prayer team is also here. You'll see, you always recognize they have this blue tag around their neck that says talk. So come and talk, say what's on your mind, and they're happily praying with you and for you. And they're here every single Sunday on this side of the stage. So be encouraged to go and pray with them. If you're visiting us, if you haven't been here before, or you came to check us out, we have a gift for you. Please go to the desk there just outside the doors and just say, I'm new, and we want to give you a gift to thank you for coming. Now to all the really good stuff to pay attention to. If you have subscribed to monthly newsletter, you will get the second reminder. If you haven't, then this is the part you want to maybe note down some dates. If you didn't know yet, on 9th of April, we have Easter. There is Easter. And there's also, of course, a celebration here, Easter Sunday at Focus on the 9th of April. There's one thing that is different. Both services will be in English and Estonian. So if you have family and friends you want to bring, you don't have to worry. Both of them are in both languages, which makes it accessible to everyone. We know I love to bring my family at Easter. At least that's one way they get to be involved in the community too. So it's a great day to invite people. We make sure that we are extra good at just letting everybody know what a wonderful community this is. And also, like I said last week, there might be someone here who's come to this wonderful impasse in their life, and they said, Jesus, I want to continue my life with you. So if there's anyone who wants to get baptized on Easter, then please use this QR code on your seat and register yourself. It's something we need to prepare. We have the best baptism tank. It's extra holy. It's at Rodney's house. We need to bring it here for you. There's nothing like declaring the faith you have in Jesus. For parents, we when it comes to children, we only baptize children if children have made that decision and they understand what they are doing. So that's for just in case. But if a child is old enough and they have said they understand what it is, then of course children are also welcome. But register ahead for two purposes: so we can prepare it, and second, so you can get a t-shirt. And of course, celebrate your life starting with Jesus. That's the most important. On that same Sunday, for those who have registered at 10 o'clock in the morning, we will meet and we'll go over all the details of what's going to happen, so you know precisely for that. Now, there is something about the anticipation of waiting, and at Easter we kind of also celebrate this journey that people went through when Jesus was crucified, and then they had to wait and they didn't know what was going to happen, and then everything that he said proved to be true. And in that anticipation, we are also gonna invite the whole community to take time in a very old tradition, but it's also something that helps us to put God more in focus, and that is fasting. And we're gonna invite anyone who wants. There's obviously no checkup, that's up to you, but from 3rd to 8th of April, so the whole week leading up to Easter, to be fasting. how do you fast and what do you fast? That is your decision. If you want to fast from all food and that's what you want to do, you go for that. If you want to choose something else to fast from, whatever it is, for some people, food is not an issue, but they spend way too much time on things that are distractions. The whole idea is to pay more attention to God, right? To fasting, the whole point is not, it's not some sort of diet or something like that. But the whole point is to take something away that will call our attention more to God, right? So we replace it with prayer. We replace it with time with God. So you have a week to think about it. Some fasting requires preparation, right? But I invite you, it's always been a powerful time to be fasting all together, to be praying all together. So for that week. We also shared a few weeks ago that the kids' church is happy to help out all the parents who have experienced the same problem that many parents do. Your kids have been given too many wonderful toys and your kids are no longer interested in them. And they're still almost like new, they're good toys. And now they're taking up clutter and you have to clean it up every week. And the kids' church said, we'll take them. The kids come here every Sunday and they happily play with toys as well. So today was the last deadline to bring your toys and put them in the box. So if you have them, you can put them in the box downstairs. And if you just realize that you have 3 more toys or that you never heard about it, then go talk to the kids' leaders and they're happy to give you all the details if you need to bring them later. Right. So, as always, if there's anyone here who feels like they want to support what God is doing through Focus Church, those opportunities are open to you. There is, for those who are home, you find all the details on our website. For those of you who are here, there's a post box up front and there's a card terminal. We talked about giving and all of this at length last Sunday, so I won't go into it, but just a reminder, it's something that comes from the joy of our heart. It's not out of pressure or guilt or anything like that. So please don't ever feel like you must, but that's between you and God. So I've asked also to remind everyone, we've made some few changes. That's the last thing before we get ready to get back on our feet and to go enjoy the best coffee in town, which is here in Focus Church. And that our coffee time is from now on until further notice between 2 services. So if sometimes you want to come for the second service, then come a bit earlier. So just enjoy that hangout time before the service. And if you come for the first, well, that's just the same, right? So anybody even at home who's preparing to come and meet the people, come hang out, come a little bit before, right? And those who are here, you stay and hang out and greet everybody who's coming. So we're creating a meeting space in the middle to meet everybody in the church between the services. All right, are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Let's get up on our feet. Let's go get ready for coffee. And we see you again next Sunday.
Even if you don't know Estonian, try to read. Let's go together. Yes. Oh, Yesu.